Join us. In this video, we're going to give away a tape measure, the 288 Bubba Modified tape measure. We're also going to show you the 10K tomato with Steve Marley, pork chops and applesauce, world record holders advice. And we're also going to show you storm protection. What do you need to do, or what does Bubba do for storm protection when the storms are rolling in? Will we dodge this bullet? Stay tuned. Watch the video to find out. Thanks for joining us. Just a quick stop at E-Rise. Quick stop here today. It's day 25. It's Sunday. Day 20 was Tuesday. Today's Sunday, so 5 days. We just taped it. She's 102-inch circumference. And if my memory serves me right, if we go back to the last video, it was 82 inches.
I think it was 83.
I don't think it was 82 because you said 62, and then you said, or did you say 63, then 83? So it's grown 19 to 20 inches in 5 days. It's doing about 4 inches a day in circumference. And hey, that's the new tape measure, the 288 tape measure. Show them that tape measure. Our winner, our latest winner of the tape measure is Growing Giants. You commented on the last week's video, and you are our latest winner. All right, congratulations. Keep commenting. We're going to give more tapes away this year. The Bubba 288 tape measure.
Feels heavy.
Yeah, she's pretty too. She's a pretty pumpkin.
It's got some weight.
Congrats. Hey, day 30. Come join us in 5 days. We're going to have day 30 video up. Find out where E-Ri's at on day 30. There's the pumpkins, baby. E-Ri has his ducks in a row.
Working my butt off out here.
Hey, Stuart Banks. He requested an update on the 10K tomato. Well, congratulations goes out to Don Sutherland from, I think it's Walla Walla, Washington. He grew the first 10-pound tomato. Now, I don't know if he's going to qualify for the $3,000. There's some rules you got to follow, like coming to the big show, I believe is one of the rules, and telling us all how you grew it. Maybe Don's not interested in the cash prize, but anyways, congrats to Don. And now, who can grow the first 11-pound tomato? But I'm really excited to tell you something. I've got a really nice blossom here that I'm working on. I've been showing it to pork chops and applesauce. Marley's been helping me. That's a honey. Now, this is a 9.65 world record. Well, now it's 10.5. But this is the second from the plant that grew the second biggest tomato all time. That is my blossom on this side of the plant. And this morning I'm out here. Now, Steve told me start watching for big blossoms. They're going to show up. Check this out. Bubba strikes gold. If I can get the camera in here and show you. All right. Here. All right, hold on. Right there. Check this out. Oh my goodness. Look at this beauty. And now this is on the other truss. I think what I'm going to do is take and I will be very, very careful. You don't want to damage your blossom. I'm going to take these little guys off, but look at the size of this one on my middle finger. That's a beauty. That's got to be a triple. So here's a 10K. Now, Steve told me my plant looks great. He told me to get the sunshade off it, that they can take the full sun. I may be babying it too much. But hey, maybe this filtered sun is what brought on the blossoms. Who knows? It's been a scorcher here. Unbearable, brutal heat. I moved my tent. I had my tent over here. I went ahead and moved it. Now we got storms blowing through today. They say tree taking down storms are coming through today between 2 and 3 o'clock. So I'm going to lower the tent in preparation. And I got to decide how to protect this. If I want to leave that shading on top, maybe wrap this around for wind protection, because I definitely don't want some 50-mile-an-hour winds coming through when I got a honey like that. Look at this honey. If I get the camera to stop blurring, that right there is the blossom. You can see it's as wide as my finger. Look at that. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. There's a mega blossom. See, if you don't know tomatoes, these little tiny ones, these are singles. And this is the honey. She's a honey, she's a beauty. She's a tomato scooty. Now, I've been talking to Steve Marley of New York. He's been giving me tips. Thank you, Steve. You're a great grower, great friend, and I appreciate the advice. He told me that I should take and cut this branch off right here. This branch is bigger and taller than the one that's holding the tomato. He said I should cut that off because I think the theory is that the energy is going to go to that upper branch, and you want all the energy from this root system that we have now established, this huge root system in our drained bed, our raised bed. You want the energy to go to the tomato, directed to the tomato, not this huge branch. So we're going to cut that off. Stay tuned, we'll do that in a second. But this morning, I found this beautiful blossom. Where's she at? She's over here hiding. Oh, right over here on the other side of the plant, I have another beauty. Look at this beauty. Oh my goodness. It looks like a triple to me. This has got to be a nice triple. I've already cut the little ones off around it. There was a half a dozen little guys, singles around it. That looks like 1, 2, 3 to me, but we're going to let it develop. And then I also found one down here at the crotch of the plant. There's one in here, but we'll let it develop. And I have possibly a double. I've pinched the rest of them all up. That's a possible double right there. Also on the same side of the plant. So Steve said you can leave them on there till they're baseball size. They should grow up to 60 days, not 40 days like I thought. I thought tomatoes grew 40 days, but I guess it's 60. But I look in here, here's another. Down here, down low, the old Dan McCoy grow it down low theory. That right there at the end of my finger is another mega that's developing. So we're gonna let all three of them grow for now. That's the down low theory. And then up here, we're at the nipple high theory with Pete Vanderweilen. This is actually head high, but if you factor in we're in a raised bed, it's more like a nipple high. Pork Chop says my plant's beautiful. So here you go. Stay with us. We're gonna cut the branch. It's time to take Steve Marley's advice in the cutting of the branch. This is your taller branch. Next to here's the blossom over here, the big blossom. Can you show that, Sherry? Sneak in a little bit and show the blossom. Okay, it's on this branch. We're gonna cut off this branch because we don't want this branch stealing from it. Now I was gonna use my coping saw because, you know, I really sometimes have a hard time coping with all this surgery. But instead, I decided to be much smarter to use a hacksaw blade. And I have been called a hack once in a while. So here we go. Now Chris Kent suggested I cut so you don't rip the skin off the plant. You know, sometimes you cut a branch and you rip the skin off. Okay, so I'm gonna score the branch like this with a razor blade. I don't know if that's showing up, Sherry. And that way, that's gonna prevent any skin tearing down. Because when you cut a branch and it tears the skin down and rips the bark off, that's not a good thing. So we'll cut that there, we'll score it. I do kind of the same thing when I cut a pre-hung door. You want to score it with a blade before you cut it so you don't splinter the luan. All right, so we're gonna use that same theory here. And we're cutting butch and hack. And I'm cutting, I decided to leave that branch just above it. Oh my goodness, I'm cutting the tomato off. No, just kidding. All right, so this is getting cut off and thrown to the side because what we're gonna do now, show them, Sherry, turn this. We're gonna direct all the energy now will get directed to this tomato. I went ahead and left this lower branch here because I thought that might help with the plumbing link to send more energy to it. I don't think it's actually gonna steal from it, but only maybe enhance it, just my own little theory. But here we go. Steve, thank you for the advice. Cutting back, I'm learning a lot on these tomatoes. I'm keeping up my copper, manzate. I found out that we was low on sulfur, so keep up your Epsom salt treatments. But I'm not pushing this plant. I'm not using the bloom on it. I'm not feeding it fertilizers. I'm only watering it, growing it in Dairy Dew. This is last year's Dairy Dew, and it seems to be very healthy. Very healthy. My leaves aren't all curled up. Show them these curled up leaves, Sherry. Down here, down low. Down low, I am curled up, starting to, but I haven't been pushing it. Up high, they're not curled. You really don't want them all curled up, according to Steve Marley. You don't want that. Not early on. If you got them all curled up, you're pushing them too hard. Back off the throttle. One idea I liked about it is cutting this branch off. Actually, what it's doing also is creating less wind resistance. When the high winds come through here, that's the due west. So the winds come ripping through here. They're calling for 70-mile-an-hour winds this afternoon, possible hail. What the hail? If that happens, this top-heavy branch bobbing in the wind is more likely to snap this whole thing off. So I'm going to be much more safer by having this, and that maybe I can tie this off. I'm going to wrap my screen around this whole getup because 70-mile-an-hour winds are coming in a couple hours. Stay tuned. I may add that to the video if hopefully it's not a tearjerker. And you can hear the thunder. Look at that sky. And you can hear the thunder from down under. And I know what you're thinking. What kind of trailer trash has Bubba become? But I got the van parked to block the wind. You know, the height of an object will give it wind protection for double the distance. If that van is 5 feet tall, it will project out 10 feet of protection, protecting the tent, so the tent doesn't end up in the neighbor's yard or downtown Holly. Then that, in effect, I'm hoping will protect the tomato. I've actually put up the screen as a windbreak, and I've actually cable tied. You're saying, my God, Bubba, you've thought of everything. I've cable tied this along with the clamps because I learned in Alcoholics Anonymous 30 years ago, you gotta be willing to go to any length to stay sober. I gotta be willing to go to any length to protect my plant. Took a pool noodle and a cable and strapped this branch here, so maybe that will help. I didn't tighten it down too hard. It's got a little bit of wiggle room, but it does have some protection. So here you go, here you have it. I've done the same for the pumpkin plant. Baby Ray in there. Baby Ray! I checked her yesterday, 85-inch circumference, and it's like day 24, day 25. Stay tuned for day 30 video coming up. Who's got the biggest pumpkin? Cable tie, cable tie. We'll see, look at that sky. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Woo! Crackety crack. Don't go back. Like Bubba on rollerblades. So far, no high winds. Let's hope she keeps going. Don't need the high winds. Bubba's home fix-it tip for the day. Got flies. I've been in restaurants that were filled with flies, and they're like, we don't know what to do. We can't get rid of them. And I told them, I said, hang these in your kitchen at night. I know you can't have them in there when you're processing food, but hang them in the kitchen at night, hang them in the dining area at night, and flies need to land eventually. You will find they will be all over these strips in no time. You don't have to leave them up 24/7. There's a fly now just hanging around. Bubba's fix-it tip for the day. Fly strips. I think we dodged about a bullet. What do you think, Dolly? Dolly doesn't like the storms. Dolly, come here. It's okay, girl. It's okay. I think we're dodging a bullet. I don't think we're gonna get the worst of it. Praise the Lord. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. Hopefully the high winds don't come. They could be quite damaging. Trash my mega maters. So far, so good. And we seem to be pretty calm. I don't see the winds. We may dodge a bullet. Sweet baby Ray, sitting in the storm. Still getting a little bit of thunder, but hey, who's gonna win the tape measure? I just bought a couple more, and we're gonna give out these 288 Bubba modified tape measures, but they do go up to 288 inches for you giant pumpkin growers. All right, so you can measure your pumpkin. There's baby Ray down there underneath the screen protection, sheltering from the storm. But who's going to be our next winner? Join us. Leave your comments below. We will have winners. Not every single week, but we will have winners. So which videos should you comment on? Comment on all of them if you want to be eligible to win prizes. The 288 tape, these are hard to find. Keep them growing.